Welcome. This is Boresight News, and I'm Sean Kenny. Tonight's a very special show for me because it will be my last show that I'll be on actually hosting Boresight News. I've elected to sell Boresight to a holding company right now, and I don't know what they're going to do with it. And we'll see what happens to Boresight. I suspect you'll see very much the same people you've been seeing all along. I know Karen will be staying and Mike will be staying. Sometime down the road, who knows? But the point is, I guess the question is, why would I want to sell a program? Well, as some of you may know, Boresight News has financially not been very strong for the last year and a half. Much to do about the scrambling issue at first, and then of course the lawsuit severely affected our ability to get advertisers because advertisers are fearful of General Instrument. And so it's left me with no other solution to that problem but to sell the product. So it will continue on, and I believe it will continue on in good stay and continue to fight what I believe are the issues of the day, which is our ability to survive in this marketplace. As I see it, of course, the marketplace is controlled by cable, and cable wishes us no great success. So if we're going to survive, then we must stay and continue to fight. Some people may argue, well, if you're giving up Boresight, you're giving up the fight. Not at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue Green Sheet, of course, and Yellow Rain, and Legal Discovery, and I'm going to do a talk show. I'm not going to do it alone. I'll only appear on it one night a week. There'll be guest hosts the other 4 nights a week. It will compete with Chuck Dawson and North America One. Why? Well, because I'm afraid you don't get the full side of the issue there. And many people have suggested that we should indeed give the consumer the ability to talk to us about our viewpoint so that they could better understand what we're saying, comparing it to what others are saying, namely North America One and Chuck Dawson. So we're going to do just that. And that will be a situation that will come up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're not sure if the transponder will be on, but it'll be different than some of the other shows in that we'll have conference call capability. We'll allow a number of you to get online and discuss what's going on in this industry and hopefully resolve some problems. As I said, it was a hard decision, it was a necessary decision, and I believe we will all be better for it. So with that, I wish you continued luck, and I really feel that we are indeed all one in this industry and will continue as one, even though I may not be here. But I certainly want to thank all of those people that have supported me, and there have been many. And without your support, I certainly could not have continued as far as we have. You are not to perceive this to be anything other than the fact of moving on to a different situation. It should help us all, and stay tuned for the rest of Boresight.
Don't buy this tape if you want to cheat the system. Buy it if you want to learn how the system works. This 2-hour video entitled VC2 Bible, the New Testament, explains how to recognize the symptoms of an ailing video cipher and how to treat them. The tape also introduces you to the newest software programs. Software that simulates the video cipher, software modification for the video cipher, and how to use your computer with the video cipher. For your 2-hour instructional New Testament, call 800-876-6121. In New Jersey, call 201-562-0080. Visa and MasterCard orders welcome. Or send check or money order to VC2 Bible, the New Testament, care of Network Productions, 262 Old New Brunswick Road, Piscataway, New Jersey, 08854. $39 plus $5 shipping and handling. We encourage all programmers to purchase this informational tape. Having your home wired for cable seems innocent enough, until you realize that you've given up control of your television set to an unregulated monopoly. Your local satellite dealer offers the alternative that can free you from the crushing grip of cable and allow you to regain control of your television set. A home satellite system. Support your local satellite dealer, the unsung hero of the video communications industry.
Good evening, I'm Mike Ventriello. Boresight News has been sold for an undisclosed amount to Outlook Publications. Although details of the private sale were not disclosed, it's reported that Sean Kenny will retain 2 minutes of commercial time on Boresight for the next 3 years. There's also speculation as to whether Outlook Publications is merely holding Boresight temporarily with the intention of a future sale. When asked about this possibility, Outlook Publications President Elaine Galasso simply stated, "Anything is for sale." Outlook Publications also bought the financially strapped InView magazine several months back, only to fold the weekly magazine shortly thereafter. When questioned about that, Galasso said folding InView was unfortunate, but Outlook Publications could not absorb InView's debt. Sean Kenny claims that he's selling Boresight in order to concentrate on organizing Satellite Dealer Trade Show and developing programming for the satellite market. The Motion Picture Association of America has set up a new 800 number for the purpose of reporting suspected film and video piracy, as well as cable and satellite signal theft. According to MPAA spokesman Mark Harrod, his association's number will actually be an umbrella hotline whereby people suspecting piracy but not sure whether it is a video, cable, or satellite issue can call and talk to an MPAA investigator. Depending on the nature of the call, MPAA investigators will forward the information to appropriate industry entities and compare notes. Harrod says this communication within the industry factions will prevent parallel investigations from being conducted. The MPAA's hotline number is 1-800-NO-COPIES, which translates to 1-800-662-6797. Calls and messages are accepted on a 24-hour basis. Despite scrambling, baseball may still be a hit with home dish owners. Karen has more in Atlanta.
Thanks, Mike. Major League Baseball will be scrambling its backhaul feed shortly after the season opens this Monday. Dish owners will not have access to the Video Cipher 1 encoded transmissions, but they will be able to get more professional ball games than most cable subscribers. Mark Ellison, legal counsel for the Satellite Broadcast Communications Association, told Boresight that there are more than 1,250 baseball games available to home dish owners through unscrambled sports services like Home Team Sports and through subscription services like WTBX and WPIX. Most of the regional sports channels will not be scrambled this year, but they probably will scramble next season. It's likely that they will go the way of other programmers using the Video Cipher 2 and not follow in the footsteps of Major League Baseball, which selected Video Cipher 1 to encode its backhaul feeds. Senate Bill 889 is getting some tough opposition on Capitol Hill. According to an article in Broadcasting, top executives of 4 multimedia companies appealed to Senator Gore to hold off action on his home satellite legislation. Among those opposing S889 were Chairman and CEO of Times Mirror, CEO of Time Inc., President of Cox Communications, and the President of Advanced Publications. Other cable industry executives were in Washington last week lobbying for their cause, and system operators across the country were appealing to their state legislators. The story they're telling is that the marketplace is working. They say dish owners have access to all scrambled programming, and they say that the price that dish owners have to pay is less than what cable subscribers pay.
Thank you, Karen. During the recent SBCA STTI trade show, the R.L. Drake Company announced a price reduction on its 2 IRDs. Drake's top-of-the-line ESR 2400 had its price slashed from $1,525 to $1,398. Drake's midline ESR 2024 has been reduced from $1,300 to $1,200. The reason for the price decrease is said to be improved production efficiency and positive sales projections. According to Drake VP of Sales Michael Brubaker, now that the American public has accepted scrambling and wants the convenience of an IRD, we're expecting a major sales surge in the next few months. We want our units priced right to take advantage of this rising interest. Home Dish Only is launching a new movie service. What's the difference between this service and their other 2 services? Well, this one will feature people with their clothes on. Tom Russ has the story.
HDO, best known for its adult programming such as American Ecstasy and the Tuxedo Network, is planning to launch a new mainstream movie service for the TVRO market. Ouch.
HDO's new service called Stardust Theater is scheduled to launch on July 4th of this year. According to company spokesperson Colette Connor, Stardust Theater was developed because HBO felt that there was a need for cheaper movie services to compete with HBO and Showtime. Connor said an annual subscription to Stardust Theater will be about $65 a year, about half of an HBO or Showtime subscription. Those who sign up before the July 4th launch date will be entitled to a special offer of $50 a year. After the official launch, the dealer price will be $50 and the retail will be $65. Connor acknowledged that many deals have been sewn up by the big services, but added that HBO had been able to strike some deals with both majors and independents because they are exclusive to TVRO and do not conflict with cable. Connor also said that home dish owners' pay-per-view capacity may allow it to negotiate cable for first-run nights. Now, Stardust Theater will broadcast 18 hours a day on Galaxy 2, Transponder 2, and if you need more information, please call this number, 1-800-433-7519.
Thanks, Tom. Nice tie. During the SBCA trade show, Chuck Dawson and his KSAT Army distributed petitions to be sent to Congressman Robert Kastenmeier regarding the amending of H.R. 2848. The petition outlined 8 amendments that many consider to be necessary before H.R. 2848 can truly benefit the TVRO industry. The petition asked for parity with cable viewers in relation to pricing and copyright fees, the elimination of a sunset provision within the bill, abolishment of the 10% cable penetration requirement, a provision allowing any licensed broadcaster to uplink his signal, and guaranteed access to all long-distance signals using satellite. It's been reported that 1,500 dealers and most large distributors signed the petition while attending the SBCA show, and if you'd like a copy of the petition and its suggested amendments on H.R. 2848, the Satellite Home Viewers Copyright Bill, you can contact KSAT at 408-848-5558. Now, last week, Karen reported on Ohio Senator Metzenbaum's cable hearings, where we heard TVRO's side of the story. This week, Karen has part 2 of the feature, where cable speaks its piece.
On March 17th, the Senate Antitrust Subcommittee held hearings on cable's behavior since the 1984 Communications Act, which deregulated cable on January 1, 1987. Last week, we reported on those hearings. Our feature focused on the problems facing many of cable's competitors. In summary, broadcasters, multi-point distribution operators, and home satellite retailers expressed concerns over cable's growing dominance in the video marketplace. C-SPAN brought us coverage. They highlighted testimony from those concerned that television's future has wound up in the hands of a few very powerful multiple system operators.
People in the cities for the first time had an alternative to the cable program. Purchase a satellite system. The cable companies, realizing that they were in basically a dinosaur world and facing our high technology, concentrated their efforts in a concentrated industry, which is easy. They shut off the supply of programming and leaving the dealers without anything to sell. In '84, cable programmers were given the authority to scramble, and they did so. But before they set up a distribution system for the TVRO. In short, the cable industry correctly viewed the TVRO market as its strongest competitive threat and then shut off the supply of programming. Even though the whole point of TVRO is so the consumer doesn't have to get his programming through the cable system, when you limit the competition, the economics teaches you that prices stay high and consumers are hurt.
Now they attack our Achilles heel by pressuring the name brand services to withhold necessary programming from us. Vertical integration and horizontal concentration is the coaxial cable corporate philosophy. Many name brand programmers are now owned by large MSOs.
Cable companies compete with local broadcasters for viewers while they control the access to the viewing choices in the home.
Those were the criticisms voiced against the cable industry. Tonight we have cable's side of the story. Cable has seen brighter days on Capitol Hill. The outcome of these cable hearings might mean legislation would be introduced to re-regulate the industry. The four cable spokesmen understood that, and they realized that their purpose on March 17th was to defend their position and show a willingness to reevaluate the activities that were questioned by Subcommittee Chairman Senator Howard Metzenbaum. Those testifying on behalf of cable included James Mooney, President of the National Cable Television Association, Joe Collins, President of Home Box Office, Bob Thompson, Vice President of Government Affairs for TCI, and Amos Hofstetter, Chairman and CEO of Continental Cablevision. They addressed Metzenbaum's concerns over vertical integration, rate hikes to cable subscribers, and limiting program access to competing technologies like MMDS. Responding to the access issue, HBO President Joe Collins said that Home Box Office had no corporate policy not to sell to MMDS.
Our goal is to be in every home in America.
Collins explained that Home Box Office was wary of certain distribution technologies like multi-point distribution because the wireless industry had a reputation for not paying bills. Collins also expressed concerns over piracy in the wireless industry, describing this situation in Queens, where special antennas pick up HBO for free. The nation's largest cable operator, Telecommunications Incorporated, devoted its time to the issue of vertical integration. C-SPAN caught this.
According to the October 1986 Channels magazine, TCI actively intervened to try to prevent programmers from directly selling to home dish owners. Didn't TCI then turn around and market its own package to dish owners?
I think the article is incorrect. As a matter of fact, today the programmers do market directly to home satellite dish owners. They sell more programming, approximately 4 times more programming than all of the cable operators do. It's true that we do market a home satellite dish package to dish owners in our adjacent areas, but you must keep in mind that we and all other cable companies have been limited by market arrangements to only our franchise area and adjacent counties. We are not allowed to sell nationally like the other third-party packagers are, and that's a tremendous competitive disadvantage for cable in serving this marketplace.
Vertical integration is the topic attracting the attention of congressmen, lawmakers, and agency officials. It has prompted concern because it gives the cable industry the power to withhold the programming product which is needed by other delivery technologies in order to compete against cable. The point has been raised in many hearings and seminars. People buy programming, not technology. Without the programming, a dish is only a bird bath, and a multi-point distribution antenna is a rooftop fixture. At this hearing, the cable spokesman took at least 2 separate stands to ward off the Senate's concerns over vertical integration. TCI's Thompson said it really didn't exist. He told the Ohio senator that TCI had no controlling interest in any of these programmers. He said, "We do not have control, in fact or in votes." Metzenbaum's position was to the point.
I'll give you some idea of the...
But you know as well as I do, you don't have to own 50% in order to have control. General Motors was controlled for years by one family that had an infinitesimally small percentage position. Generally speaking, most American corporations are controlled by individuals or groups that have far less than 50%.
While TCI said vertical integration was not an issue, President of the nation's Cable Association, James Mooney, defended cable's right to have such control over its program sources.
Cable has had to invent its own programming. If we had not gone ahead with services like Nickelodeon, which is children's programming, and C-SPAN, which we've discussed at some length, and black entertainment television, and other of what might properly described as specialty channels, it is highly unlikely that anyone else would have stood up on the outside and put up the risk capital to invent these services. But we had to, for if we didn't distinguish ourselves from free television, we weren't going to get too far.
Rate hikes were also discussed. Senator Metzenbaum introduced the issue by stating that in at least 93 systems, cable subscribers suffered rate increases of 50% or more, and in some cities like Denver, rates rose 458%. Mooney said in a study commissioned by the NCTA, average rates increased to 10% for basic and decreased 2% for pay. Amos Hofstetter, chairman of Continental Cable, the third largest cable operator in the industry, had this to say on the issue of rate hikes.
Our average rate in the state of Ohio on the last day of 1986 was $13.51. Our average day on the last day of 1987 was $14.90, a 10.3% increase. Now, our typical subscriber also buys a pay unit, so that his bill was the $13 plus $9 for pay, approximately $22. We slightly lowered our pay rates from $9.72 to $9.70. So the average Ohio customer's bill increased almost exactly 5% in the year 1987.
At the hearing's close, all arguments were heard, and the concerns expressed by the committee were addressed, though not side. The Ohio senator warned Cable that legislation was likely if the industry continued to take advantage of its unregulated status. He said, "There are those of us in Congress now who question why we deregulated AT&T, why we deregulated trucking, and now why we deregulated cable." Next week on Boresight, we'll have a report on how cable fares in an investigation conducted by the House Telecommunications Subcommittee. This is Karen Howes. Back to you, Michael.
Still ahead on Boresight, satellite killers, scrambling the weather, and the first annual Star Awards. Stay with us.
Are you tired of listening to buzzwords and not knowing what they mean? What does VSAT mean? And what is this new one, business television? Hey, you can find out. You can go to these courses. They take weeks and cost thousands of dollars. That's what we've done. Or you can save a whole bunch of money because you have a satellite dish, you're a satellite dealer, you already know many of the terms and what they mean. But maybe you don't know some of the unique ways you can make money with it. Maybe you don't know all the things that are needed from you to make the installation. How do you do the roof mounts? What is required? How do you do all the settings? What do you do when you bid for a VSAT job? And what do you do for business television? You can sell business television. There's a great opportunity out there. But more importantly, there are many people out there seeking to find installers to do VSAT installations. A few business TVs. Business television is projected to do well over 100,000 units in the next year because of the dynamic growth of that industry. Are you going to be able to address that growth? Are you going to be able to do those installations? The people want certain things from you, and you can give it to them now because it's going to be a VSAT business television seminar. Yes, and you don't have to bother even leaving your office because we're going to do it live via satellite. Yes, we told you that there's going to be opportunities to use that wire decoder other than with Yellow Rain. Well, you can, because now there are going to be 2 seminars held live via satellite in the 1st of May, allowing you to use your wire decoder. The first seminar is business television and VSAT. It's a one-day seminar. It's $189 if you do not have the wire decoder. That $189 is $100 for the course and $89 for the wire decoder. That's a 5-year lease on that decoder, folks. So for $189, you get a full one-day seminar with course book, with everything you need. And you can come in and on live via telephone and ask questions of the guests that will be there telling you what's going on with VSAT and how you can address that market and how and what you need to know about business television. It's going to be a full 10 hours. 10 hours, you can tape it, but it's going to be full of information you need to know. Now, what's the second day? The second day, well, you should ask. Well, we did. We thought about what else dealers really need to know. Well, we all know about SMATV, but do we really know? There's a lot of money in SMATV. Big marketplace right now. Are we addressing it? Well, maybe we're not addressing it because we don't know everything we need to know about it. Well, now you can. The second day is a SMATV course. If you just want to take it, it's $189. That includes the 5-year lease on the wire decoder. If you want both courses would be $289. But if you register now, you can save yourself a good $50. Yes, indeed. $239 if you register now. That includes the wire decoder. For the full 5 years, you never have to rent it again or lease it again, and both courses with course books. Now, if you already have a wire decoder, hey, take $89 off. And if you went to the seminar back in September of '86, the VSAT seminar, take $40 more off because we never sent you that videotape. So, there you go. Go for it.
Welcome back. The FCC's housekeeping habits came under fire last week during a House Government Operations Subcommittee hearing investigating charges of poor management and lax security in the FCC's public document rooms. According to a report in Radio and Records, Subcommittee Chairman Glenn English of Oklahoma criticized FCC officials for what he called a pattern of neglect. One former FCC employee, Perry Womack, who recently quit out of frustration, described the Commission's mass media reference room as a zoo and a hellhole. Womack also testified that clerks are often bribed with food and liquor by those needing documents. FCC Managing Director Edward Minkle told the subcommittee he knew nothing of the bribery in the public document rooms, but he did acknowledge the need for improvement. According to Minkle, the system certainly is not perfect, and the public deserves better than what it's receiving. Right now, we turn it back to Karen in Atlanta.
When Chuck Hewitt addressed the satellite industry in Las Vegas, he said that piracy could destroy the home satellite market. Hewitt cited examples of program sources that were weary of delivering their services to TVROs because of security problems. Now, while Hewitt commented that piracy could cause programmers to shy away from home dishes, he also noted that program channels available to the dishes have increased. In 1985, there were 100 to 120 channels available. Now, there are over 150. He also said that while 5 superstations existed 2 years ago, today there are 16. SATCOM 3R will have programmers on board till it ceases to operate in 1992. Recently, Home Box Office signed a contract with GE Americon to stay on board until the bird goes down. Others with life leases on the satellite include the Fashion Channel, the Learning Channel, USA, Arts and Entertainment, CBN, ESPN, Lifetime, Home Shopping Network, and Tempo Television.
Thanks, Karen. It's expected that the U.S. Solicitor General will decline the FCC's request to review a lower court's findings that the new must-carry rules are unconstitutional. The Solicitor General's decision will be based in part on the belief that must-carry is not important enough compared to other cases pending before the Supreme Court. And because the Justice Department's Antitrust Division, which advised the Solicitor General on must-carry, has already gone on record as saying that all must-carry is unconstitutional. Now, must-carry rulings, by the way, would require cable operators to carry local TV affiliates on their systems. Broadcast factions such as the National Association of Broadcasters, the Association of Independent Television Stations, and Public Television have petitioned the Solicitor General on their own in an effort to convince the Supreme Court to review the lower court's must-carry decision. Next, a cable program bonus. Lolita has more.
The cable industry is kicking off National Cable Month with a free preview weekend. A 6-hour free preview will be shown on broadcast television. So far, the National Cable Month Committee has bought or traded out time with TV stations in 12 markets. Cable subscribers will be able to watch a 56-hour marathon of programming on their system's open or access channels, or if their system carries it, C-SPAN, which cleared its schedule to accommodate the special programming. Home dish owners can watch the marathon preview on C-SPAN, which is Galaxy 3 Transponder 14, or on Satcom's K1's KU band Transponder 13, which has been donated by HBO, General Electric, and GE Americon.
Thank you, Lolita. In Ohio, the Mount Orab Town Council has issued an ultimatum to Thompson Cable Company, saying its owner must attend the April 5th council meeting or risk losing his franchise. A March 15th council meeting was held to address resident complaints about poor cable service. That meeting was attended by 2 Thompson Cable representatives who were warned about their company's non-response to consumer complaints. This past January, a survey was published in the Brown County Press to determine what Thompson Cable customers thought of their cable service, and of the 40 persons responding, 24 claimed overall service to be poor or unsatisfactory, 14 said the service was good, and 1 said the service was excellent. While we were in Las Vegas, several people came up to our hotel suite to be interviewed. The following is one such interview. We're talking to Jim Yago of Collin County Satellite and Antenna. They're located in the Dallas area. Jim has been very active on the zoning issue. Jim, why don't you explain what you've been up to?
Well, basically, about a year and a half ago, Chuck Dawson called me and he says, Jim, I've got something I need your help for. and it's going to be a tremendous benefit to the industry. And we sat down and visited about it, and it pertained to zoning. Well, since that time, we have put on numerous shows pertaining to zoning and built up quite a zoning packet, so to speak. Now, let me define what a packet is here. We have asked dealers and consumers from all over the United States over this period of time to send us various information pertaining to zoning and what their problems are, and in many cases what the solution was as far as the court cases were concerned. We now have piled, I would imagine, at least 4.5 feet of stuff of different zoning things. Now, the position that I play pertaining to zoning, and I play this because of support like Boresight has given us in the past and many other fine publications, that if an individual has a zoning problem in a certain portion of the country, let them go ahead and call me or write me and send me their zoning problem. Now, once I get their zoning problem, I can go through other zoning problems from other parts of the nation and perhaps able to submit to them an opinion of something very similar in another part of the country. And in this way, they can take this to their city council, they can take this to whatever powers to be, and he can explain to them exactly how it went down in that particular area. Now, this is done by me at no cost. I'm not an attorney. I don't profess to be an attorney. I do not charge for this service, and this is just something where we need a clearinghouse. We need a clearinghouse where a man or a lady can get an assistance on zoning without having to pay a fee for really nothing. And I mean, in all sincerity, because I do know that a lot of attorneys out there are passing out information to these people, and all it is Xerox copies of practically nothing. So therefore, I feel that the service is vital, and I think that the cause should continue to go on pertaining to helping individuals, dealers, whatever, in this zoning issue, and I hope that you continue to successfully support us.
What do you think of the zoning packages that have been issued by the HSTA and the SBCA? I believe they charge about $20 or more for them, and they seem to be, as you said before, Xerox copies of things that aren't really that useful. You have any feeling on that?
Well, the only feeling I have on that is the mere fact that I've got 50, 60 times as much information as what they're including in their packet. I'm not going to say that their packet isn't a good preliminary packet, because it is a very good preliminary packet, and it has some very useful things in it.
Okay. Now, your service is not open only to KSAT members or any other organization. This is for anyone who chooses to call you.
Definitely so, and in the very near future, I'm hoping to expand the publication of the fact that I'm here to help every dealer in every city for this particular reason.
Okay. You've recently gotten involved in something new. It's not exactly a zoning issue, although it does restrict the satellite dish. It is called restrictive covenant. You want to explain that and what you've been involved in?
Well, restriction of covenant has never gone to court yet. But the point of it is, I think that when a person buys a home and the developer says you can't do this and you can't do this and you can't do that, which so many developers are doing now, in order to get council and the cities to approve their planning, they want to go ahead and put restrictions in. You can't have an outside antenna. You can't have a satellite dish. It's just terrible that they're doing this. But my question to you is this, and my question to the nation is this. I think that we need to put a campaign on, and I think we need to fight against the fact that somebody is demanding us give our constitutional rights away by way of a contractual instrument.
What do you think is the biggest issue facing, or the bigger issue facing the industry today? Is it piracy or zoning?
I would have to say zoning is the issue.
Now, if zoning has become an issue with you, you should call Jim at 214-985-1090. That's 214-985-1090. Boresight will be back after these brief words. Stay tuned.
Announcing a special deal on Satellite TV Preview, a complete weekly satellite TV guide. Just mail us the cover of the guide you presently receive, and we'll give you a special deal of just $36 for a full year of Satellite TV Preview. That's $10 off the regular subscription price for Satellite TV Preview, a great guide. And all you have to do is send us a cover. and we'll send you Satellite TV Preview, the most complete weekly satellite TV guide. To get this special deal, just send your present guide cover with a $36 check or money order to 262 Old New Brunswick Road, Piscataway, New Jersey, 08854. Visa MasterCard orders, call 800-876-6121. Call today to save $10.
Good evening. Tom Russ from Green Sheet here to tell you about tonight's show. It's a very serious show tonight. No fooling around. We've got prices you cannot beat. Why? Why, you ask? I know you're asking that. You're asking it because last week's show, both Thursday and Sunday, was a complete blowout of all the things that we had in here. Prices went so low, we were giving it away. That's right. It was crazy. Same thing is happening tonight, Thursday night. Following Yellow Rain, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time, Transponder 1. Don't miss tonight's show. All you need is a phone, a satellite receiver, and television set. You have our 800 number. Give us a call. Tell us what you want. We'll send it out to you because it's here. If it's not here, it's drop shipped, and it gets to you very, very fast. It's amazing. Yes? A very serious show tonight. No fooling around. No laughing. Tonight, it's sell and buy. Strictly that. No laughing. No fun. It's a serious show. So be here tonight for one of the most serious Green Sheet shows you'll ever want to see. It's a very serious show.
Don't buy this tape if you want to cheat the system. Buy it if you want to learn how the system works. This 2-hour video entitled VC2 Bible, the New Testament, explains how to recognize the symptoms of an ailing video cipher and how to treat them. The tape also introduces you to the newest software programs. Software that simulates the video cipher, software modification for the video cipher, and how to use your computer with the video cipher. For your 2-hour instructional New Testament, call 800-876-6121. In New Jersey, call 201-562-0080. Visa and MasterCard orders welcome. Or send check or money order to VC2 Bible, the New Testament, care of Network Productions, 262 Old New Brunswick Road, Piscataway, New Jersey, 08854. $39 plus $5 shipping and handling. We encourage all programmers to purchase this informational tape.
Protect your hardware and your software with the Microcom 300 uninterrupted power supply. It protects your computer, your data, and the other important devices you're operating when power is lost. It also gives you the ultimate in protection from lightning storms. Don't let your data go down with your computer. Buy the Microcom 300 uninterrupted power supply for only $275. Visa MasterCard is also accepted. Send check or money order to 262 Old New Brunswick Road, Piscataway, New Jersey, 08854.
According to a New House News Service report, the White House has instructed the Pentagon to examine new satellite killer weaponry and to deploy such devices at the earliest possible date. Although Congress has prohibited the Air Force from testing an aircraft-fired anti-satellite missile, the Air Force is now exploring the possibility of using ground-based lasers and high-velocity missiles. It's reported that the Soviet Union already has a crude form of ground-based anti-satellite system in place, which could jeopardize low-orbiting American satellites. The U.S. may be more vulnerable to an anti-satellite attack because it has fewer satellites in orbit and the launch capability is slower than the Soviet Union's. Critics of ASAT technology say using such weaponry will put the strategic eyes and ears of both the United States and the Soviet Union at risk and make preemptive attacks and accidental war more likely. Disney is getting set to scramble. What would Uncle Walt say? Karen has the story.
The Disney Channel began fixed-key scrambling on Monday and will go to full-time addressable by May 11th. The service is being marketed by Disney on a national basis and through local cable affiliates who may determine their own retail price charged to dish owners subscribing locally through them. Through Disney's National Distribution Center, any dish owner can receive the channel for $85.40 on an annual basis, or $8.95 per month. The 800 number to call is 1-800-3-DISNEY. The Weather Channel has also decided to scramble its feed. July 15th is the date set for fixed key, and September 1 is when they expect to go addressable. Although the service will be sold to home dish owners, no distribution or pricing plans have been determined at this point. VC2 is a decoding system selected by the service, which is owned by Landmark Communications. Tempo Development has signed 120,000 home dish owner subscribers since the company began distributing program services on October 5th. Now, in an effort to expand its programming offerings, Tempo Development is